Alright, now to reassemble the rifle, once you got everything cleaned and lubed, you just take the stock, put the action with this tang way back here, and drop it in so it fits. So you got the action back in, and what I do is rotate it over and lay it on its top here and have it laying down. And kind of just reverse the order. I take the magazine, and that kind of fits in there nice. Now this here, you gotta be careful. This piece here. See, with this goes up, I guess that's the sear. This goes up into the stock, so you gotta have it like this. This is no good. You gotta have it down, and you can look in there and see the hole in that. Hold on a second. Okay, let's do it this way. This is what we got looking. If you look, there's a little square hole in there. So the magazine, it just goes back in there, kind of like this. It pretty much lines itself up. Now you have that hole there. It's kind of important. Now this fits in there tight. So you got to have your run. So this has to go up into there. This has to go down into that hole. Kind of like that. Make sure you got these. Now this is tighter than hell. So what I'm going to do is, the only way you're going to get this, you got to tap it with that mallet. Okay, but you see your orientation. Make sure that your piece is going up in there. Oh, sorry. Your orientation. Make sure your piece is going. It's kind of hard for me to hold the camera and do this. But I think you got the idea. I'm going to get this set back into place and then show you. This is the difficult part, is you got to slide this. You got to get it down into the stock and slide it around for them screws to line up, or you'll strip them and tear the hell out of them. Like this one here had kind of a bad time. It's a little stripped. It's a little bent. So you got to use care and take your time and be patient doing this next step, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, trying to give you the best camera angle I can while doing this, and it's kind of hard holding the camera. And you'll feel that fall in there. So now that fell in to place. Holding it all together, you can double check. And yeah, the sear, you can see it's lined up with the hole on the other side. So now we're going to give it a little tap. Tap this in. Now, screws in order. You take this one up front. I got to try to get it started. And what you're going to have to do is try to start these. Go easy and make sure you're starting them. This one went in all right. And if they don't start, don't force them. Don't get crazy. Just give them a turn. If they start catching the thread, good. If they don't, well, that one did there too. When I did this before, I had to slide this back and forth until I got the screws to engage. This is actually going together a lot easier this time. There we go. It's going in. So, it doesn't give you any instructions on how to reassemble. So I'm going to just give them a good draw. Now I'll draw if they one in the middle. I ain't worried about the front. Okay, and that draws that. It's drawing the trigger guard down into the stock. This one's pretty much alright, so I'll tighten it up. And you use common sense. This is the smaller one, so you don't want to have it binding or twisting. We'll give this a good tighten that down. So that's in, and now we'll draw the tang up. Okay. And once you're done there, flip it over. I don't know if that's correct or not. Oh, that's all the way up. That doesn't look like... that safety was on. See, when that safety's down, a little sear doesn't come up in there. But you want to make sure that's what catches on the bolt, that sear right there. You see it. Okay, so we're good on that. So then the next step will be to assemble the barrel bands in that. Okay, so let's get our barrel bands. And I got them with the screw goes to the left. That's just the way it was on there. So I'm going to put it back on. Basically, you just slide it down and then press down on your retaining springs, front and back. And then you tighten the screws, tighten the bands back up again. So they're in place. So I think that's going to help hold them if the gun's ever fired. So then we tighten up our barrel bands. Okay. Then the next step would be putting the bolt back in. We'll go over that. Okay, last step here is getting the bolt back in. And like I said, the sear catch or release thing runs in this channel. Make sure that this tab is all the way up. Because if you try, and be careful, because forcing or jamming anything, you can, it looks like people beat these guns up. So with the tab all the way up, got that orientated down over the center of that thing, slide that in. You can see this is not going to be... Take a look in here. Yeah, the tab ain't all the way up. Oh, the ring slipped on me, okay? That ring, make sure that ring doesn't, this stuff, and then look down in, you'll see the notch where that goes. What happened is this fell back in, and then the ring rotated over while we were moving it around. And when I try pulling the tab all the way out, I can't unless that notch is lined up. So take your time, think about what you're doing. Like I said, this is a weird gun, and it is a pain to work with. Okay, that's what it was. So now we get it lined up, get it in, try to get our, gotta pull it out. It has to be out a ways. Get the tab back down in there. And generally what I do is I just give it a friendly little tap with the rubber mallet. It's kind of flush in there. That goes, the ring slides over it. I guess the ring goes on a lip on there. Okay, cocked. See the bolt's real smooth on this gun. Test our safety. Our safety works, so we're good to go. Okay, that's it. I hope it helps. This is a tricky devil, so take your time investing in that book that has the diagrams and instructions, or I'll try to make the videos as well as I can, try to explain them as best I can to help people out. Alright, and now I'm going to do the bolt disassembly and taking that apart.